If we go back into that, I was there on the spot, and we have seen that draft which was announced. There was, yes, this one point, including in that oral, I think 4 or 5 pages of agreement draft, that the Afghanistan Taliban, they will not use and they will not allow anyone to use their soil against any country, the United States, and also their allies and other countries. This assurance was given to the world community, international community. Apparently, it was the talks were between the Taliban and the United States, but the international community was there. Pakistan was there. The regional powers were there. So, if we see since then, that issue is resurfacing from time to time, especially in the case of Pakistan, particularly if we look into northwest, the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which is close to the border, having a long border with Afghanistan and also Balochistan. These both were worst hit by these attacks, and Pakistan is coming from Afghanistan. The Afghan Taliban is, yes, you are right, that they are denying and they are contradicting such reports. Whenever there are reports about the militant attacks or militancy from the land of Afghanistan, they say that neither we have committed and we have pledged to the United States and the international community that we would not allow anyone to use our soil against any country. But practically, when we see reports, as I told you, and the evidences which the Pakistani government, the Pakistani authorities, and especially the security forces, they are showing our intelligence reports that mostly these attacks and the cross-border militant attacks are coming from Afghanistan. Afghanistan is denying, and the issue is a little, I don't know why the international community is pressing and they're trying. But so far, the Taliban is still sticking to their point, and they are not like admitting this that our land is being used. There are a number of things we can see that the TTP militants, whenever there were strikes from Pakistani side, are internal issues in Afghanistan. Like some banned TTP militants commanders were killed and assassinated inside Afghanistan. If we see in the Kunar and Khost and other parts. So this is not only related to the Taliban, but also some other groups like Al-Qaeda regrouping issue is coming. This time, if they are ignoring, they are denying. So they are also, I think, challenging this, and this challenge will be for the Afghan Taliban itself. If they are denying, on one side, like Chinese are investing inside Afghanistan, especially in the mine sectors and the development sectors. They are having talks with the Americans. The other regional powers, like Iran, is on the border. Tajikistan, they have an issue in the border. Recently, you have seen some attacks on Chinese on the border with Tajikistan. So these things you can deny, but I think instead of only simply denying such facts, there should be some political way out, diplomatic situation and solution for this. If you see the Chinese or Uyghur militants, or the ETIM or TIP, the Turkestan Islamic Party, which is now called in the past it was like Eastern Turkestan Movement. That Chinese, I think, some assurances were given to the Chinese, but still that is a threat, and Chinese is very much concerned about it. So if such situation is not controlled, if the Taliban couldn't control these militant groups, so that could be having like as they have unexpectedly. So if they are having now trouble with Pakistan in the future, like they will be having problems with the Central Asian countries, with the Chinese. So that will be a very difficult situation for the Afghan Taliban. As I told you, they have a problem with Pakistan now. They are having problems with Tajikistan. Iran, so I think they also have issues, but for the time being, as they are using alternative trade routes on via Iran, so far apparently the situation is like 50-50, not too much worse for Afghanistan. With China, they have now Chinese is engaging them, and they are trying to bring them back and resolve all these issues, especially these threats, because China is also having a good relations, diplomatic relations, brotherly relations with Pakistan, and also trying to negotiate and mediate it in the past. But as I told you, this is not only a threat to other countries, but itself. If you cannot control them, so these groups can create problems, diplomatic problems, political problems, and these conflicts. So that can also be a very serious and challenging one for the Taliban. Still, they are not behaving like a political group or a political government. So these issues are there, the differences are there. We cannot say that these differences are that much that they can start they're having guns at each other. But yeah, if such things continue, there are differences that you have seen in the media, and some of the Taliban leaders, they have publicly criticized the policies of the Taliban leadership in Kandahar. So the differences are there, and this is also a serious threat for the Taliban itself and also for the region. I think the instability is there, though they are trying so far. As I told you, the Kandahar is controlling, the leadership is controlling the. So far, they are like the control over the various factions. The everything is in the hands of the group in Kandahar, or the Sheikh Hibatullah and his team, or his shura. Something we have seen, and if they do not have any proper and formal political setup inside Afghanistan, so they cannot. For how long they could run the government with guns and with might and power, and just changing and shifting and changing the people from one post to another post. But still, I think the political instability is there. I think the regional community, the those who are having some sort of influence over them, like Qatar is having their influence over them, the Saudi Arabia, Arab countries, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, also Chinese. I think they can do something to sit with them and tell them about the future. If there isn't any broad-based government, if there isn't any democratic or political setup in the future, and if these groups were not controlled, so the very existence of the Taliban could be dangerous and could be threatened. So far, they are trying not to listen to, like listening to them, but they are not accepting what the pressure or what the demands of the, because these people, as I told you, there were talks for hours and hours in Istanbul. We have seen, but there were no results, and the talks couldn't have any results for a positive outcome. So this the same is with the Qatar. But I think these countries should play their role, because this is, as I told you, not an issue for Afghanistan, not an issue for Pakistan, but this is having some regional implications, challenges, and also international community. So these one day or the other day, if they are they are not listening to them, so they are losing their edge. Or so far as there was no alternative or substitute, political substitute. But one day and the other day, we have seen in Afghanistan in the past the changing of these groups and governments, and they're collapsing when one group is dominant. So these days, Taliban are dominant, but they cannot continue this for long.